Hi everyone, it's Daisy here. Daisy Ozum, aka Professional High Priestess, is what people call me when I'm more in my etheric state, doing personal development. I just wanted to share this regarding some of our work that we've been doing and why we were getting attacked so much in tech. A lot of people are going to be new to this. So I think it's important for me to give just a little bit of a background. I started getting attacked in 2021 over my work, basically with mirrors and crystals and making specific sound frequencies that affected bacteria and chemicals in specific ways. And other people couldn't replicate that, even though they had millions of dollars worth of tools, supplies, and instruments. Okay. So when I say tools, that's like financial vessels. That means that they had an office, things like that. And then instruments, meaning that they had chemical beakers, things that you find in laboratories, other chemicals, etc. So what ended up happening here was I got uploaded to a virtual reality by an organization called the California Endowment, them and several other people that you can find in their 990 form. Okay. So a 990 form is a form that a foundation has to publish regarding where they put their investments, who they hire, who's on their board, and where they and other like businesses that they're going to be like involved in order to build the endowment of the foundation. They thought it would be a good financial vessel, my work. So they started stalking me and harassing me, hoping that I would die. And then they would take my work and go plagiarize it amongst a bunch of white men. But what ended up happening here is that they realized that my only a high priestess can activate this. And I got all of this work and all of these tools because they attacked me coming in and out of my apartment with chemicals, trying to have me trafficked as a grown woman, telling me that I'm gonna have white cock in my mouth, that I'm gonna be kidnapped and mutilated and raped so that they can play with the computer. This has been going on nonstop in my ear every single day for 2 years. And they're trying to make it seem as if it didn't explode with several people in tech getting involved in this and being uploaded, several women. Women went missing, other people of color went missing. They lost their jobs, their code was stolen, their businesses were destroyed, all because the California endowment went on a mad dash. And this is where you get AI and chat GTP blowing up because all at once they released the hacking technology and there's virtual reality technology, and all at once they built all those technologies which are now breaking because they have no substantiality in this reality because we need something new altogether. So I want to show you some of these documents that they have up here so you guys can know where to look and know who's doing this. Some of these organizations that they are investing in are some of the people that have started this. So they thought that by they were trying to sacrifice me, and then by sacrificing me, they were going to go ahead and get something like out of it. One of the reasons why all the banks are crashing and there's a lot of like divestment and lack of economy is because everyone pulled their money out of businesses because they had to start paying for their bills, paying for court cases, and paying for things that happen because of the endowment. So you guys can go in here and look in their 990 form and see where they put their money, their investments. You guys can go ahead and figure out like, okay, who's been playing with you based on, some of the stuff that you're seeing in here, right? So this is like what I wanted to show you guys. This is some of the stuff that you need to be like looking into. Okay. And there's a lot of individuals on here that were involved, and all the banks, they work with all the banks. So it's nothing for them to all get together and start a bunch of chaos. Right. So then when that didn't work, harassing me and stalking me, what they did then was start kidnapping and mutilating children, feeding them feces wrapped in flowers. Like, oh, if I wrap this in feces in flowers, a daisy flower or a rose, now I'm you and now I can do this. Because that's how like disgusting and delusional they were. And that's literally how 300,000 people went missing in the last 4 years because they were wanting to play with a computer program and play with me because of my work, because I've been doing this. That's why you don't see anybody else on the internet with crystal meditations. Have you noticed that? None that work. Because my meditations are very effective. There's none with crystal meditations. Sound meditations for crystals, where I've turned crystals into sound, nobody. Not a single person. Talking about aquatic beings and aquatic functions, nobody. Talking about botanical functions and the other aspect of the botanical world where they have speech, like we talked about the azalea flowers and they have a recovery speech, the black roses and they have a death speech for enforcement. We talked about the rosemary and how they have another speech for molecular layers. They have their phytochemicals and then they have their intelligence, can be scripted down in different geometric patterns, which is a type of magical sets. So you have energy work, then you have all this with chemistry and coding. So this is why I was getting attacked and harassed all like that, because of what was happening with people's children and what I was talking about. Now it's done because everyone has seen what has gone on now. Now everyone knows where to focus their work and who to target. But let me go ahead and show you guys some stuff here because I wanted to show you what we're specifically doing and what is about to go crashing. Because remember, only my hand can activate it. This is why you've never seen this on the planet before. Again, I'm going to ask who is doing crystal meditations, liquefying crystals into sound. You need an akasha for that. Why? Because they used to have high level magic like this on the planet, and because of some of the stuff that you've seen in the Bible and Quran and different magical books or different religious books and texts and different movies and different stories of like Queen of Sheba, Solomon, those things are not on the planet because the misuse and abuse of botanicals, the phytochemicals, and then the over mining of certain metals, they've gone from the planet. Okay, misuse and abuse, and then they leave. So now we're going to come into what we're going to be doing. CPUs and metals. We have 6 recipes that we want to bring down for new CPUs. One of them includes nickel with margarine, and one of them is cinnamon with uh, pennies, copper. You can go ahead and use those two and make like a superior metal out of either of them. One, you'll get like a superior form of not platinum. It will be like a sister of platinum. Like if on a scale of 1 to 6, it would be number 6. Platinum that you look at every single day where you know you've tested this and you didn't know that you can get a different variation, that would be number 1. So that's how close you can get. It can only build another cobalt computer though. We already have that. If you mix it with the quartz crystal, though, you can get a specific type of CPU and specific type of chips that you can use in space technology, like space computers, which is what people are going to be looking for in a minute. And I have it, and I'm not giving it to anybody until this stops with everyone's children, the kidnapping, the harassment, border drama, playing in the cartel civil wars. We won't have anything then. That's fine. Let the planet just go off there. But I will tell you, you're going to see yourself be removed from the planet before you destroy the planet out of ignorance. No one's asking people for anything. I was working, I had income, and we could have gone ahead and made this go faster. I got sick and I had to stop working. I told you guys a lot about that. All I can really do is my channel and writing my books. I used to make $10,000 a month doing that. So God really blessed me. Like there's nothing that was happening to me. It's not people just stealing my money. That's it. People sign up for my Patreon and then they get removed. I have 155 people on my Patreon. I only get like $300 a month. I should be getting 1,500. That's basically like what happened to me because I my work and people trying to stalk and harass me. Okay, and just know that your governor is the first person because Plum Jack needs things, his investment firm, right? So that's why a bunch of children are going missing and a bunch of chaos is going on because they thought that they were going to sacrifice all the children, brown children in California, and that's how they were going to get spiritual powers to like do this. That's not how I got that. I exposed a serial killer and I help people find their children and I help individuals get their children back after they were switched at birth. That's what happened. People did magic on me unnecessarily. I wasn't a bad person. I helped other people, so I got this. You guys destroyed animals, you destroyed whatever you could to play with me and other people. Look what I got, look what you got, right? Oh, a lot of us are getting our upgrades and stuff like that, but certain people are not because that's what they chose. So now that we have a coding system where we can attach different botanicals, phytochemicals, and geometries that you find in minerals, metals, and crystals together, you could take this now and start to create a new metal. Like I can take a really like beautiful like silver, mix it with amethyst, then I can take a vanilla with some turbinado sugar and make a really dope computer that's just for like programming music, programming certain types of like codes and like a certain type of like sounds that you hear in like lo-fi music and get like a whole slew of like lo-fi music now. But we can't do that because people are stalking and harassing us, all of us. And look at what's happening on the planet. Everyone has noticed everything is dead. Have you noticed that? Something's like ticking. And this is going to end up in the media and it's going to get several people put in jail all at once. I'm just waiting for it. So those are some of the mixtures that we have. One that I really cannot wait for is tiger's eye with quartz with a specific type of like flower botanical. Ooh, it's like a very like pungent flower. And that makes you like a certain type of CPU that people like used to do like biochemistry, like making fire stay up for a long time and burning several beakers all at once, that type of thing. So I can't wait to start getting into that and helping people upgrade like their software and their tools, which is what this is all about. Some people are just not finding out about this, and you're only now finding out about this because people thought they were going to defeat me, take my work, and come and clamor you with stuff that you know how to do, but they don't. And that's the big fight now. A lot of people are finding out about this and saying, what did you mean by playing with her though? Because you're talking to several people just by playing with me. When they're playing with us like this, they're not talking just to me. They're talking to all the people that they played with in tech, all the people of color that are now like in an economy that was like broken because they invested everything and centered everything around social media and technology. And now what's the new thing? Us being able to do this and have new technologies and have new jobs and have new capacities and things are going again. The phytochemicals we have on the planet in the next few weeks, we're going to realize that we need to double them. And only then will they come looking for me. Other than that, they're going to keep on playing and making it seem like nothing's wrong and nothing's crashing, even though it's super quiet. Because the top people in tech are on my LinkedIn. I have people from NASA on my LinkedIn that know about my work. So I just want you to know that they're watching this and they're playing with Kamala Harris, or they're trying to like create like some type of like lifelong money for their family off my work. And there's all of us sitting here. You're delusional, but you're going to figure that out when you get arrested, because there's a lot of people that are now working in the government that will handle it. A penny system. So this is a system that we use to like increase the carats in gold. You can change the color and then up the value of the carats. And this is how we can use this system after we go ahead and do the change, mix and botanicals as we're doing that. In the chemical reaction of fire, heat, the cinnamon, the celadon, and the pennies or any type of copper mixing, you can start to bring out higher carats and then start to get more out of the CPU when you make those golden chips. There you go. It's just like this. It's very simple. This is an old Seminole magic. It's locked from people because this is one of the reasons why they started the Seminole Wars. Mhm. So also environments. So we're talking about environments. That's like the environment that your database is sitting in and the environment that you have access to create certain type of like web pages or web apps. We're going to be upgrading environments as a whole because now we have new permissions. How do we have new permissions? Well, we're overriding the old permissions. So by using these chips, this new set of chips that we're going to have, we're going to go ahead and be able to bring down new permissions that break the old ones or override the old ones. So we're working with debilitated metals. This is a difference between like HP, Dell, Apple, and other like space computers that you guys can't really get because they're for other purposes. It's the CPU and the computing capacity. So now what's going to end up happening here is that there's going to be a bitter change in that because the metals have been debilitated. I just had to call out the Jindal dogs one more time. There really is something in abusing these animals and misusing their gifts. The Jindo docs have decided to do this because of what they saw in the Asian community because of Cheong. And it's specifically because of Cheong, where they were kidnapping other people's family members, killing them, turning them into pickled meats, and then feeding it to them or selling it at their local market to keep them quiet, occupation. So because they did that, they completely shut down the tech market in Asia. It's completely done. The market now belongs to the Pashtuns, Afghanistan, to the Igbos, Nigeria, and to the Spanish America and the Caribbeans, the other blacks that are also living there, and then the Spanish indigenous people that are there in some parts of America with the native Indians, the Seminoles, Iguanas, and other blacks that are enslaved there, and also certain parts of Scotland where you're going to be able to find certain metals. Like I can take a really, really good um, uh, I could take a moonstone and I could put that with an obsidian. I mix that with the copper and I can get a computer that's like specific for like running several EHR, EECs, EEGs, and EKGs all at once. But you can get like three new like frequencies populating to your screen with that CPU so that you can actually edit in real time the waves as they're going back into the person, right? Because now you have access to a new input and output system. That's like some of the stuff that we can do with this. And this is not going to anybody. It's this coding system that I received. It's not going to anybody. It's not on my computer. They're gonna have to rip it from my mind. They think that they're gonna kidnap me and force me. That's one of the things that's been happening, and I have to be very candid with it because I support a lot of people, and I just have to be real about what happened to me because what they did was very, very, very sinister to stalk and harass me because I have specific psychic gifts after I caught the serial killer to continue to let him run around and bodies are piling up to the point where they had to pass an alert system for Black girls and women in California, the Ebony alert system, because we went missing in droves so they can play with rituals. And then for them to see all my work and then stalk and harass me to the point where I became homeless, lost my money, then they stole all my money and think that I'm going to keep playing with them. You guys have no idea what's about to happen on this planet. It's straight done for. In the next few weeks, all these techies, they're going to lose all their money and they're going to be sitting at home trying to figure out how to like play with you spiritually so they can go on the computer and claim that they're coding or what. So that's the next thing now too, because there's going to be like a quarantine of the economy. People are going to be sitting at home while they develop new economic packages. There's going to be a bunch of stuff going on that's going to like help people be stable. There's going to be like a pause on a lot of stuff because there's no economy. So while they were breaking down the economy and thinking that they were going to usurp people of color, they just crashed the economy. Now everything is like at total zero and we can rebuild. Look at the agricultural space. We have the opportunity just by programming seeds, we can bring down a whole bunch of new crops that grow in like half the time, and we can redo the whole entire agricultural space in less than 3 months. But you have white people that want to clout chase with my work. We could go ahead and redo the whole entire computer science field and have everyone with no illness on the planet within the next 6 months. But you have white people that want to clout chase with my work, right? Whites, Indians, Chinese, etc. They think it's like a fight. Like, where are we going to take this? Why is it that that had to be the case? Why can't you just activate what you should have? Oh, because you were a sellout and practicing anti-blackness. Okay, good. So now what's going to end up happening here is we're going to come to the conclusion that there needs to be a new permission system because this one is outdated too. This to work, sir. Now you're seeing this. What do you mean by this? This is octopus and squid language. You guys think that this is a joke. They're really using magic on the computer. So I was trying to show you the UTF-4 before. Let me show you like this. Let me show you what I've seen before. Just converting files. Yeah, no, that's not going to be a good one. This one is not a good one either. Nah. This one, no. Her, nah. No. I'm gonna put it in a specific reality. This one, no, not that one either. This one, no. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Get info, and I'm gonna change this to example. And now you see the UTF-8 coding. Okay, now you see it. I changed the photo, right? You guys saw that. I changed it to example. This is the original. Now look at the coding. Look at this. This is all a specific type of like language. It's a banished squid language. Thank you. That looks like my last name. I just thought that that was funny. This is what we're about to overpower. Why do you need this when you could just write out? This whole thing is too much. Just write out Sogoguazar in a specific portal, and then you have her photo. Whoops. And you have actually new photos of her, which is what we can do on the internet. Remember, we were going to make a specific app where you can go ahead and uh, type in or upload someone's photo and you can see all photos of them in space and see all photos of them in other lifetimes too if they have those databases for reincarnation. It's not that hard. They're already digitized because this is what they do in a different place. So we're not getting any of that. We can go so much further. Like imagine where you can see for memory crystals. Because remember, a crystal is silica. So if I can go ahead and use certain permissions to attach to a specific silica database to bring down memories in stream format or JPEG or .mov or MP3, why not? It's just coding somebody's memory crystals. And from there, what about people that passed on? The crystal is still there. It hasn't been destroyed. There you go. And that's how they found out who created slavery in space. They just went to a big memory crystal. It's like a type of planet. It's a water. You have to get permission there. It's like divination. It's sometimes the planet calls you there. You get teleported and you move there. So people kept on getting moved there to see who started slavery. And all the way up, they figured out it was just somebody that went to go spy and did something that she shouldn't have done. And all the way down, it created slavery. Imagine that. So now you have this Terixer. And this Terixer is basically a type. It's a type of database that was a secret one that people were using. So you type in this Terixer into like a chat, not a chat, into your text pad in your terminal, right? And then you're going to type in the Terixer. There's three types of Terixer. And then people were pulling down all kinds of code. They were just copying and pasting code. Let us say, for instance, I type in this Terixer, I put in this code for this like database. The Terixer is going to populate how the database should communicate with each other. The Terixer is going to give you a bunch of code that you can put down to track error codes, to track jobs. And then what that other Terixer will do was it will go ahead and create jobs in those databases based off of the functions that you put in there, right? So then by the time you know it, you're going ahead and using this type of permission and you've coded a whole website in 2 hours and somebody is taking like 20 days on the same thing. And this is where you get a bunch of people playing in tech and just got exposed for this because how did you code all that? Because I'm going to tell you right now, you saw this with the UTF-4, right? How did this all come out though? From a picture of a fake jellyfish. This is the picture. And this is it in UTF. Now that I've put her in this and I own this language, I can get rid of this one completely. I just put her in her lowest form. I put her in her lowest form, digitized her, and now she can go off. That's why I didn't do certain pictures because they don't need to go into a lesser form. Her, nah. If it's dirty water and other, I would encourage you guys to do that. Pictures of like dirty water, environmental damage, put it in this, and then from there you can edit this reality easier. You can even copy and paste this into text pads. For those of you guys that are really like want to do a meditation, you can copy that into text pads, right? And start coding like the spirals and stuff like that over it, and then watch it change the environment because this is resonant with a specific coding sequence that's resonant with our eyes, resonant with this reality. If it was a different reality, you would need like three different type of coding systems to make sure that it can impact its main reality and then any other reality that it exists in. Right. So that's just one example of like internet and the magic getting broken on the internet. And that's done. No one cares. No one cares that white men are having a tantrum. Nobody cares that they are losing everything. No one cares. There's other people that didn't receive, that didn't get their just due. Their children went missing because of you. That's what you get. So now we have permissions that we're going to be overriding, right? And then permissions are basically like letters and numbers are placed together to speak to the input output system, speak to your CPU board and your compiler in order to then have certain coding, binary coding, 0 and 1 coding populate on the front end. And this is where we're getting the AS UTF-8 and ASSI UTF-8. This is like the encoding where you guys see me string a letter of numbers, right? So for A, you have a string a letter of numbers. That means something. For B, for C, for D, etc. Okay. Yeah. You see, UTF-8. So now another thing is the ASCII. Mhm. There you go. So A through Z, 1 through 2, and then all of these different commands too. These are the original like commands for the CPU board. And then from there, you will have, when you first turn on the computer, it's going to have like a screen. And from there, you can plug in certain things like a USB or a compiler attached to another computer and then program that computer using a text pad, using this text pad type of software. But this is the name of it. It's called Vim and Ubuntu. That man is dead now because they were kidnapping people's kids in droves, especially in the UK. This crisis that you see in the UK with immigrant people in Rwanda, that started with them going after people's children unnecessarily. Yeah, and stalking and harassing a bunch of people and starting a bunch of nonsense. Okay, so that's really it. Okay, the internet's getting slow because they figured something out with the permissions and they're trying to change it to new permissions. But I own those permissions as well. I own all any permission type that they will try to bring down. I own all of them. There's only a few that they can do. The next one is it's not actually W. The next one is Z. Then there's two T's, and then there's W. That's dead. They're all broken. Okay, so something in this text pad that's going to show you that though. So let me open this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can speak this language. Do it's this one will be door, This one will be was a riser. Was a riser, and it's saying why not? Why use that when I could just break all of it and shut it down? Open up 18 portal functions and all of your doings and all of your commands and all of your processes and all of your compiler functions and all of your original ASI, ASCCI functions, the 8 ways you connect to the broken flowers, the 9 ways you connect to the broken fish, and the 2 ways you connect to the broken speech of metals and electricity that should work together but are always fractured in your system. Okay, so that's what this means. So now you're gonna say that this is here, and then that's that here. I'm gonna go like this because I'm still using this. I'm just showing that I'm still doing this. Okay, so now here we go. So there's that, and then is yeah. So there we go. You put certain strings together, and then they bring out certain commands, right? Like you put these different things together, and they bring certain commands or bring up for certain strings that you can continue to build upon to then build out a computer program so that your computer actually works. And it's not just like sitting there as a device, right? Okay, so that's it. We did that, and now I'm gonna go ahead and I did Twixtor. This word Twixtor. Right? Thank you. Very, very serious. Thank you. And that's why it's been like why because they've been trying to figure out how to hide the bodies of all these children now. Okay. Well, you're gonna find something out about air quality and a bunch of cremation materials just missing. So that's all you need to quantify. So what works, sir? The work, sir. It's sir. It's sir. And these are just curses. So as they're typing them up, which several people are, yeah, they haven't. It just curses you. Thank you. I did want to now make my announcement. So you guys remember there's the RX, then there's the W, there's this right here, when you see just RX, RWX, RXW, this is trying to just program the permissions of the computer itself, programming the CPU board and connecting this way. This one is like when you're seeing Wixer, it's for programming Unix and Linux into your database and environment. When you see the Wixer, that's for programming like the initial like ASCII and all the other Vim, etc., that you're going to be using to then program the computer later on, right? So this Wixer comes after like you've done some work and now you're like in Unix and Linux and setting up your databases and environments. So that Vim, so the Vim right here that I was showing you guys, this man is dead. He passed away because he was molesting everyone's children. That's what I was talking about Vim. Yeah, very interesting. Mm-hmm. So now they don't have much. Where are they getting this from? They think that they're special. It's just one person passing it down to another to another. They kept it within the family, like because his family was involved in creating Ericsson and things like that. These people don't have money though. I want you to know that they're not really rich. They don't really have much going on. They were molesting animals, molesting people's kids. You see. So when people Google them, why are you seeing this though? This is all that we need. Right. That people of color are apes. I'm so sorry. I don't think I'm a gorilla. I know them though. I've used their magic, but I'm not really sure what you mean by that. I don't think I'm a degenerate either, but I think you are because you're sticking your dick in people's children. And then you're like putting your feces in your coworkers' food and they're getting sick so you can beat out the competition. And then you're playing with human meat. You're playing with Xiong and the Dai Li. Listen, I don't have time for the nonsense here. You're gonna have to figure that out. That I don't get involved in. That's what they got exposed for. I don't want to be involved in any of that. Keep me out of that. They were like trying to surround that, like my life with that. Like, why are you so extreme and disgusting? The heck? Yeah, that's what I started having to go through because you guys were playing with these tarot readers online and you guys were playing with Castle who was a serial killer. And because of that, then the whole cartel got robbed because they lost all their money. So they started robbing the cartel. So then they started like, oh, we can have this new computer program because look, she knows what she's doing. Look at these crystal meditations, but they only work when she does it. So let's stalk and harass her and hope she gives us magical coding powers. Like Stewie, you guys like no Stewart? Look what I can do. That's what they were basically doing with ritual sacrifice of brown children with feces and rape and torture for the past 2 years because of what you guys started playing with me and stalking and harassing me. That's what it took to keep that up. That's what it took. Okay, well, they're keeping us quiet now, huh? Oops. That's what it took to keep that up. Now you see what we're talking about. And for those of you guys that are just listening, please, they've already been finding a lot of the bodies. There's a lot of reports about these children. I'm just going to show two. Just show two. Oh, this ASC table, I just need to take this over. They're reminding me that. Let me take this over. I own this now. Right. So we have these ones too. RX, W, XR, etc. These also too, we've upgraded these permissions. There's a whole lot of new ones. All of these. I made a table of all the new ones. They uploaded all of them, but we own them. It doesn't matter what they do. We own all of this. It's banished. This is like a banished, like squid language. This one is Tokokas Wakakis. Okay. This one's Zogorga Kwasari. Tuwakzarari. Yeah, so this is like the language. It's the syntax is like there a little bit, but it's broken. I see where it fell down from, like a main language. Yeah. So that's really just it. So then we have databases, of course, that we were going to be upgrading, giving you guys a new way to code and bringing down new permissions by the way in which you bring down a code and organized code with indentation and things like that, and then showing the origin of the internet, which is the phytochemical shape of a broken botanical, the phytochemical, not the phytochemical, but the specific intelligences of the fish. So different fish mean different things, and different aquatic beings mean different things. And the way in which they operate in their intelligence is like manifest in sets of speech that they have that you can then use. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's an octopus that's shaped like an octagon. Look at her. She has different functions and different intelligences. She's different from um, one that you would see that's like full color. There's an octopus or jellyfish, octagon shaped jellyfish. Mhm. She's shaped like a hexagon. I don't know if they have her picture on the internet anymore. She's like very extreme. I first saw her and I thought she was gorgeous. I do some of her works. This is an air clunk, but she doesn't have a speech. Yeah, she doesn't have a speech either. They're making these up to look like jellyfishes. They're spending a bunch of money too. Her, she has a speech. This is an octoisi. She's the mix between a jellyfish and an octopus. So she has certain functions. Let me see a black bubbler. She was a black jellyfish. Let me see if I can find her that way. She's gonna bring down her speech, specifically a black one. She's close. Magellalina. That's what you call her. Magellalina. Magellalina. That's what you call her name, Magellalina. Okay. She's gonna bring down her speech and like overpower this whole entire database. Only she can do this. Okay. So we're gonna bring down this black jellyfish, and we're gonna tell this black jellyfish, let us use her speech, her magic, to go ahead and overpower these to death, and then these fake permissions. She has like a very powerful speech for that. She'll shut all this down so that instead of like you having to connect to these different intelligences, you just have one. Right. So a lot of people didn't know that it was like that's how it worked. It was like a magic of a fish, but obviously there is some magic there because you see I converted the image to text and you see the ETF4 coding right there, right? So now what's gonna end up happening here is I'm gonna show it one more time. This was it. Easy. This is another one. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, and then this is what we got. So let me see if I can convert this back. Okay, there you go. Now there you go. There you go. So, okay, just to give you guys an example of what was going on and how this works on the computer internet. So now all that code that became populated, where did that come from? It's not from a computer program, right? That's the original UTF-4 that's coming from a specific database in space that's being ran. So are you saying that white folks that are in the computer for a long time, or even Asians are from space? Yes and no, we're all from space though. This is just one planet. If you're on this planet, you're from space, but you just didn't know that indigenous people really live in space, and we have aquatic functions and we have markings on our body and our face to mimic that of the aquatic being. And this is why you guys have this book, My Big Aquatic Life, which is like really screaming at me on my desktop, because this is like showing, this is the octopus, right? This is what we look like though. And these are long, this is a baby. So hers are short. When you're a high priestess, yours are very long, right? So you guys see how I always like tie my hair in a bun? That's how that looks like. But if you start doing foulness, your tentacles start to break off, and this is where they get the whole concept of extensions. But imagine that, like you're going to an octopus and cutting off her tentacles so you can have long tentacles because you got banished as a priestess. And imagine the smell. And people are walking around like that in space. Zrinra, this is the whale shark. These are what their markings look like. These are real indigenous people in space. When people saw this got a lot of people put in jail with this because now they figured out what they were doing in space. They were going to go molest people's children and looking for things to do in space. Because where are you going and what are you doing and who are you playing with? She just don't bring her here because she's not ready. So woo, woo, baby, I'm telling you, people are gonna boycott this so badly. They're clunkless. Okay. Went through this. So you guys can see different aquatic beings have different like speech. She would have like more of a war speech, right? So her speech would be like one for mental clarity, because this is like their circle of Willis and it's very complex. Um, it's a decagon with a four. Mental warfare ceases to engage my Durga my mental crystals. The decagon with the five is mental chaos ceases to influx into my Dorana, aka my blood flow to my Zwai, aka smaller like electrodes that feed these crystals that allow for certain type of consciousness to ground down. If you want AI and you want a code like this, you need one of these. No, you don't cut it out of children, which is what they were doing. They were finding my book in the autopsies of in the bodies of children during autopsies. That's how far this went. Turn it off now. It's so disgusting. So this is now what's happening here. Same thing with the aquatic being. She has a different one. Hers are for portal functions. I like her on the internet. She's already letting us work on the internet. She's the one doing like our biochemical coding work, and then also too some of the perfume work, portal functions, so that you can type up in a perfume and then you can smell it from your memory, or like a brand new spiral gets placed upon your memory of having carbon. And because you have carbon and carbon can create anything, you can pull anything from carbon, you can pull scent. That's how some of you guys have been smelling feces or bodies. That's them playing with children and they're uploading you to the virtual reality. It's a specific chemical that they're feeding the children or sneaking into your house with. You had to have ingested something to be smelling that for some of you guys. Yeah, that's what they were doing. And that's why all the chemicals are missing, because they were playing like that. Okay. So that's all I have for you guys for our presentation. The internet is done. Just wait for it. You guys have already seen it. Everything's dead. You guys come to San Francisco, that's completely done. San Francisco's broken, they're done for it. Everything's shutting down downtown. This black jellyfish though, yeah, something's changing on the internet. They're trying to play with like a few of the permissions to stop something from being able to populate in a specific hacking program that they accidentally released. But just let it keep on going. I wanted to pull up this black jellyfish. She doesn't really show her image online. They did this to be like, this is like, oh, what hood are you from now? Like, oh, you thought you were sick. What hood are you from now? This is so childish and petty. Like, why are you putting her like that in this state? she's looked like that just for fun. Like, oh, let me play with you. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I that helped me. I need to use another one on like the rotation in my crystals. I'm using another one of the octopus or speech, and it's the rotation of the crystals. And that's a octagon with a eight. The physique that's surrounding my Argoglazide runs properly. It will do these eight things. Okay. Ooh. Okay. All right, you guys. So there's that. Very interesting. This is AI. If you guys want AI, you just have to talk to the jellyfish and the different like beings, and they give you that AI. They run AI. Isn't she gorgeous? That's her friend, but she just wanted to say, you guys are so petty and juvenile. Somebody died because of this stuff. So look at her. Whoa, she's really horrible. Jesus. Yeah, she's on the planet that's dull. She needs food. She needs better food, and I need to get to her quickly. The first thing I'm doing is going to all the aquariums. Oh no, she has to get out of here. She's cursing everybody in the hood because they get into the tank and it's so small and they hate it there. It's like war for them. So they start drama in the hood because that's their people. So they like, oh, hi, you're in space. You're in a different body. You have more fun. You can move around. Let's start chaos since I'm at the aquarium. I live with my friend. She's over here. I don't have my body on this planet, thank God. But let's start something. And they start things. They start war constantly. You want to find out what Department of Defense is looking for? They're looking for a certain octopus in the water. She started the Civil War and she's been here ever since. She has crazy war magic, and I'm going to use it to end things. She's the one that brought one of the bloodiest battles in the Civil War. I read about it. She brought Gettysburg, and then the uh yeah, Battle of Richmond, Virginia. That was her. She scattered everybody. If you guys read into some of that stuff, you will see the Battle of Richmond is they didn't have rations and they couldn't get messages across because the Union was barricading that land into some parts of Maryland, what we call not like the DC area into Maryland, parts of South Carolina. It was like a tri area over there, not the DMV. It's a different part of Richmond, Virginia. But they were blockading like Union soldiers that were Confederate soldiers from being able to send messages over there, and vice versa, also for the Union Army. And it was a vicious battle because that's how they set another Mason-Dixie line. Because that battle was over the Mason-Dixie line. The Mason-Dixie line is the line that you pass when you're free. Some of you guys like she started that. Ooh, that was a bloody, vicious battle. They bodies on top of bodies. Mason-Dixie line, Virginia, the Battle of Richmond. Yep. Into free states. They were trying to come up here to this area. That Detroit, that Detroit, T Grizzly in them, their area. There ain't no love in my city, blood in my city. Ooh, we gonna riot like the 60s. I was listening to that the other day. They're really not playing over there. And this is the battle that she started. And this is where you have a bunch of Seminole names in this area, like Okagichi and Moskaloosa and Kenosha and things like that. That's all Seminole. She started that battle, this octopus. She's the one that did this and set that line up so badly. These are southern states, these are northern states. You're not bringing this over here because Confederates were trying to retreat into this area to play with rich black farmers. Man, I'm telling you, Ticonderoga was one of those companies. You guys want to know something though? I was talking about there's this lady that I met at the psych ward. I thought it was funny. She bought me some tarot cards and a Bible. It was unfortunate, but somebody around her was involved in something dishonorable with some Seminole families in around the Georgia area, and they were making them use their lumber to make like fancy pencils. And I saw something, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna come up again. Oh wow, it's not on my phone. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's not on my phone. That's okay. So, anyways, just to show you how they work, and she has another speech. You know what? I'm gonna put something. You will see the proof in what I'm saying regarding her hand, because you're gonna find out about several families in that area that never could recover from that war. Yeah. Antebellum, she didn't even show her hand. She didn't even bother. Antebellum, nope. Some of Williamsburg address. Mm-mm. This Abraham Lincoln like they did one assassination attempt on him before she didn't do anything. Even when they killed him, because I was already a little bit after the war, going into Reconstruction, she did something very bloody during Reconstruction, and that was not carpetbaggers, but it was the people that were coming from carpetbaggers. There's like a whole history behind that that they don't want to tell you about. That's one of the origins of the police because of what was happening when they were attacking carpetbaggers that were coming down there and like just working and stuff like that. Some of these aquatic beings, just by how many tentacles they have and how long they are, you're going to be able to see the trajectory of wars. This war that they're doing in Afghanistan, that war is because they killed a certain jellyfish. She's been bad on so many. They killed a certain jellyfish that was living off the coast of like Turkey. Whoa, baby. I'm telling you, a lot of people are like getting hit. They're not telling you when these people are getting hit back to back. Taliban, I'm telling you, they have to get paid by the feds for a reason. They can't go anywhere. This is out of control. This is not what you want to do at all. You don't want to do things. This right here is saying like, oh, like after you shot somebody, like, I'm putting in a strap. Like, oh, like you think you're sick in my hood? You can't do stuff like this. No. Putting in shallow water. Yeah, you're asking trouble. Look at her. She's really, really ridiculous. She shut down Ethiopia. Haile Selassie. Do you notice something? Yeah, she had her hand in that too. Yeah, her hand was creating that Black Union Army. You guys know about Denzel Washington? He was in one of those movies. She created that specific platoon. Their descendants are still around today. They're still running around. Do you know that? A few of them know about this virtual reality. That's how Kamala Harris got set up cold. Shoot. Yeah, she is not playing. She wasn't around then. Mm-mm. She was around then. Yeah, she's the one that birthed the Black Bubblers. This is her. Her first children on this planet were the Black Bubblers. She saw that war. That was the Jim Crow, Calico, poor whites. That's her hand. Black Bubbler. That was her hand. The Black Bubbler jelly. They don't really have them on the planet. Black Bubbler, if you see Black Bubblers on the planet, something's terribly wrong. If you find one of those, run. The ones that we have right now they go to this color. Black Bubbler, they took down a lot of their photos. She wouldn't want me on her desktop. She's so annoyed by this because she was doing something out of control. She's so gorgeous. She has something for the internet too, and it's really for like a certain type of computer that people are using in like water hydrosciences. So for those of you guys that watch my channel and you know about that, please use that. And then from there, you use the speech, you can code it, but then you'll also be able to like put it on yourself. And then you get those insights like, oh, aha, now I know how to code this. Yeah, you don't kidnap people's kids and like cause pain and chaos for a bunch of people and start nonsense. That's not what you do. Yeah, she's vicious for aquatic warfare. This is how you know something's completely dead. A lot of them in space haven't seen this one. Or how many females got killed in the hood because she's around here. And it has nothing to do with seafood trafficking or eating seafood. It's about a few men that ended up getting colostomy bags, wheelchairs, and getting killed in the hood. She came and shut that all down. Because I remember that was running for a few years where it was a bunch of beautiful men ending up in wheelchairs, getting killed, colostomy bags, their own friends, like playing with them. No, you don't get out the car now. What about my wheelchair, though? What? I used to be the one driving us all around and getting money for us and stuff like that. I'm still working. Now you get to get out, get out the bus stop and starting stuff and trying to get him set up and get him kidnapped. Men that like got hit by friendly fire in the war because it was a setup with their own hood. Yeah, got amputated, all that type of stuff. Woo! She shut that down. Her hand is vicious. This is Vanity Fair. You notice something? She's like light purple. Hers is ending the spiritual like movement. She ended it. It's done. You notice that, right? Everything's dead. Good. So now they're going to be fully like you're going to have your attention on them completely because they want your attention. Because this is gonna. I promise you, this is gonna stop. So you guys, that's what I have to say. There's a lot of history, a lot of interest. Oh, my screen wasn't being shared. That's fine. There's not that much there, anyways. I was just looking at this, and this is what I was looking at earlier. The Mason-Dixie line. It was the line that indicated free states from slave states. Yeah, and she started that battle, this octopus, because she saw you're not about to handle that. You're not about to try that. Now, This octopus, you're wondering about, well, now you know how deep sea diving got started in aquatic functions. That's what I'm saying. Is it done? Like deep sea diving? Is there one more episode of this? I hope it's done. Okay. So thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this. She's gorgeous. She wants us to use her too, and I'm gonna just put her on here. She's gonna be for 3 new recipes for CPU. Yeah, but this is owned by the Afghanis. Two Afghanis and one by the Nigerians and Edo people that were impacted by all these wars. Your family was impacted by wars. You own all this stuff on the planet, and they will only work with you because you suffered the most. And this is what they're trying to take from you. I mean, they just give you more. Really, that's just that.